Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be discussing the top 5 budget killers for those in pursuit of financial independence. It's definitely no secret that in order to achieve financial independence, you're going to have to make some sacrifices along the way. But for the most part, you're going to see the biggest impact when you cut down on the biggest expenses within your budget. And for most people, these can be grouped into certain categories. So today I'll be walking you through 5 of the biggest budget breakers and discussing how we can reduce their impact on your savings rate. Let's start with number 1, rent. As I mentioned in previous videos, tracking your expenses and building a budget is really one of the first steps towards achieving financial independence. And the biggest shock that most people realize whenever they do this is how much money is going into rent. Whenever you're shopping around for apartments, there are going to be huge fluctuations in prices. But if you're choosing between an apartment that will save you $100 every month, that $100 is going to be $1,200 by the end of the year. So those variations in prices should not be taken lightly. And from what I've learned from experience, it's easier to shave off $100 from your rent than just about any other expense. And when it comes to saving on rent, the easiest way to do this is to find a roommate. 2-bedroom living arrangements are oftentimes significantly cheaper than living by yourself. There are full websites that are dedicated to finding roommates. I do understand that living with roommates is not for everyone, and once you've lived without them, it can be hard to go back. Rent prices can usually be boiled down into 2 things: location and amenities. Amenities such as a dishwasher or in-unit laundry are often easy to justify, but modern apartments are charging more and more nowadays for luxury items like gyms, dog baths, pools, and other facilities. So it's important to ask yourself if these luxury items are worth the premium price tag. If they are, that's great, and their enjoyment definitely makes the cost worth it. And if they're not, this could be a sign that you could move somewhere more affordable and wouldn't be missing out on too much. The other big budget buster that will hit every single month is an expensive car payment. Unless you live somewhere with great public transportation like New York City, for most of us, a car is kind of an essential when it comes to our day-to-day lives. So I'm in no way advocating for you to get rid of your ride. But one of the easiest traps to fall into is getting locked into expensive car payments that will eat into your savings ability. These long-term commitments really lock up your money and make it difficult to adjust other areas of your budget. So try your best not to buy those brand new luxurious vehicles, because those are going to hit your budget really hard every month. If you do think it's time for you to start looking into buying a new vehicle, usually the best way to go about this is to look at used cars, where they've already had their largest depreciation hits already in the beginning. It's also important to think about why you're upgrading your vehicle in the first place. Is the other car dangerous or unreliable? If yes, then that's a great reason to upgrade. But if you're getting a new car just for the sake of upgrading, a lot of times the expenses are going to outweigh the enjoyment that you feel when you first get that car. One of the reasons most people work so hard is that they can go travel and enjoy their leisure time to the fullest. It's pretty well known that travel can be very expensive, and this can be a huge ticket item in most people's budgets. But with travel hacking and credit card churning, this cost can be significantly reduced. Credit card rewards points are a great way to get free airfare and free travel. If travel is a huge ticket item in your budget and you're not taking advantage of travel hacking and credit card churning, I would highly encourage you to look into it. Optimizing credit card points and sign-up bonuses is a great way to get free airfare and free hotel stays that will significantly reduce the cost of your trip. And usually these are the biggest expenses of a trip, right? Airfare and hotels can really make up a significant portion of your travel. So use these credit card points to decrease these expenses in your travels, and your budget will thank you. The next category I would encourage you to try to cut down on if you are considering FIRE is subscription services. It's pretty easy to get used to paying for subscription services like Amazon Prime or Netflix or Disney Plus because the upfront fee seems relatively small on a month-to-month basis. But these monthly fees can really add up and can amount to a sizable expense whenever you look at them throughout the course of the whole year. And even worse, a lot of people just forget that they have subscribed to something. And so this money is eating its way into your budget and you're not even realizing it. It's okay to have some subscriptions, especially if you use them all the time. But if you have a gym membership or a Netflix account, which you use maybe a couple times a month, you should try and reevaluate and see whether or not it's still worth it to you. I think the name of the game here is just trying to be cognizant of the price per use that you're getting out of these subscriptions. And finally, a huge expense that can eat into people's budgets, and I'm sure you knew this was coming, is food. Your food expenses can really cut their way into your savings every month. And this is largely dependent on whether or not you cook at home. If you are pursuing FIRE, by no means do you have to cut out going to restaurants if you really enjoy that experience. But if you go to restaurants all the time, I would encourage you to try and cut down to at least once a week, and you'll really be able to see your savings grow. If you really want to hit this category hard, I would encourage you to shop at budget grocery stores like Costco and Aldi, and also look into meal prepping. You'll be really surprised with how far your dollar can stretch if you're just even a little bit more mindful with where your money is going. And that concludes this list of the top 5 budget killers for those in pursuit of financial independence. I hope you all found this video useful. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!